Ice, ice, baby. Oh man, it's cold. Woke up this morning and water hoses are frozen, dog troughs frozen, but the pipes on the house were not frozen, so that is awesome. We're gonna try to get the ice broken up so the dogs can drink their water, go check the animals, check the pond, and start our day. That ought to work. So let's check on the rabbit, see how she's doing. You liking the cold weather? We get a lot of people that tell us that we shouldn't leave our rabbits in a cage, and we don't. We have that cage back there that she can get into. She gets to roam the whole garden until we are ready to plant. So we think that's pretty awesome. She can actually live a normal life, just like the puppies. They are getting huge. So a lot of you know we planted some ryegrass, tripping over dogs because we have so many. We planted some ryegrass and we didn't know if it was going to grow, so we did an experiment with a red solo cup inside and it worked great. We grew like 2 feet of grass already. So let's check out the grass we planted after, or right before the rain we had, and it kind of washed it away. And Jared is out here throwing more seed out. That way we could get it growing since it's nice and cold out here. But let's go check out how it grew. As you can see, it's coming in pretty good. Not a whole lot, but it's grass and it grew. You want slow motion? So do you think this is gonna work?
Hope so. It's starting to grow now. I think last time it just rained too much and it washed a lot of it away, but we grew some inside in a cup and it started growing like crazy, and out here you can see it's starting to grow, all the light colors. So I came out here and put a whole nother layer of seed out, and hopefully it'll fill in all the gaps.
It's not a lot of grass, but we'll take it. As you could tell, our windmill is barely surviving. We had really bad winds yesterday, super strong. That's why we had to do a lot of vlogging inside, just because the wind was so bad you couldn't hear anything in the microphone. But I think it needs to be fixed. Uh-oh, here comes Jaylena. Let's see what she's up to. Jared figured he'd just throw the rest of this grass out in the front yard. See if we can't get some stuff growing. Jaylena, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Came to watch? Nothing. What do you think of that windmill?
I think, I don't know how much longer it's gonna last.
Jaylena, why do you always go?
I don't know.
Well, here's Grandma. She just had her babies and Bam Bam's already ready to make more. All these animals getting along together. It's pretty cool. Got the chickens out here eating some potatoes we threw out, which is good. Our ducks over here, they stay out all night, which is pretty funny. And old Bam Bam trying to make babies.
So, we have some news. We are retiring Grandma. We won't be breeding her anymore. We're going to focus on the smaller dwarf goats, and we are going to give Bam Bam to another family. They want him for breeding, which is great. He served his purpose on our farm, and so we're gonna go ahead and give him to someone else to keep doing his thing.
Literally.
Literally.
Most people don't want roosters, but man, that one's cool. I think we're gonna keep him around. We get a lot of people that always say that we have a lot of dogs, and we started with just 2. Actually, 1, Hurley, is our oldest, but then we started adopting some more and went to the shelter. We found this girl. That's Razzie. She was just dumped by her owner. The owner just showed up and didn't want her anymore, and she's, I don't know, about 12, 13 years old. So we took her, and we're gonna let her live the rest of her life here. We've already had her for about a year and a half, and she's awesome. And just, who wouldn't want this awesome dog? She is loud. Whenever you start petting her a lot, she'll start moaning. It's pretty funny. Ooh. How could anyone not want this dog? You too, Sawyer. We adopted you. So a lot of you know we are taking steps to become more self-sufficient. So one of our goals is to raise milk goats, dairy goats. So we are on our way right now to go visit a goat dairy farm in Bonham, Texas. It's about an hour from where we live, and so we are almost there. We're gonna check it out and possibly come home with a goat.
These are 17 boys that have
she's our nanny. And you can touch any of them. Some of the smaller.
Or do some of them are naturally just...
No, they'll always get horns if you don't just put them. They'll take her well.
So we're here at Lost Ruby Ranch, and these are our little boys we're going to be taking with us. We're in Bonham, Texas, and if you guys need any goats as far as males go, they are the people to get in contact with. So we just got home, and these little dudes are hungry. We still need to come up with a name. Jared wants the other name to be Dakota, aka Dak. I'm not 100% sure yet for this guy, but this is not our first time bottle feeding babies. We've had some in the past. As you know, we did lose some goats recently, and we're gonna attempt to put these guys on Grandma to see if she'll take to them. We don't think they will, but we wanted to try a bottle first to make sure they got fed really well, because it's been all morning since they've been fed. But the farm we met today, the person was super nice, showed us around. Everyone there seemed awesome. They seemed to really care for the animals, and we would highly recommend them. So we're gonna keep you guys updated on these little guys. We beefed up our fence this morning before we left. We're gonna check it again and again. We might leave these guys inside tonight, but I'm thinking they're big enough and healthy enough to leave outside. But we're gonna go out there and set the pen up a lot better and just see how these little dudes adapt. Finished the whole bottle, so that's very, very good. They're nice and healthy. Chug, 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 chug. Just a good little healthy boy. It's crazy that they're already as tall as those guys. And these guys are only a few days old. That just shows how small these little guys are and gonna stay. So for now, we're going to keep them in this area. We got the dog playpen that we built. We got the little shack that we built for Grandma when she was gonna have her babies. This is just temporary for now. We're gonna build this out super nice for all of them. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we need to go eat and we'll be right back. So since we are getting our garden plowed up, we wanted to start composting. We wanted to do this for a while. We've just put it off and put it off. So what we want to do is use our old rabbit cage that was our old quail cage. You always want to recycle. So we're pretty excited about starting composting because we really want to take advantage of everything we have, recycle what we have, use it for the garden, which brings it back to food for us, food for the animals, and we think it's a win-win. What do you think, Jaylena?
I think it's going to be very interesting, but very awesome.
So if you guys have tips on best ways to compost, let us know as always in the comments. We'd love to get some info from you guys. Maybe I'm gonna layer it. Just do we only want one section.
One section?
Yeah, we're not doing the whole bottom, because then you do one whole section and then you kind of move it as it decomposes. But for now, we're just gonna do one section. Look at that.
A dune bug. Gotta get closer to this. Got rabbit poop, goat poop, hay, everything for the barn.
So like I said earlier, we are starting to compost. We don't know everything when it comes to composting. That's why we want you guys to comment, but we know you need a good mixture of green and brown. And that's different things, not just grass and anything green and anything brown. We know that. So we added grass in there already. Then we did mulch that we've had for a little while already in the corner. Then we got manure in there of different kinds. We're gonna shred paper. We added water because you want some moisture in there. We're gonna add food scraps and everything like that. If there's anything that you guys know of that would just boost this, let us know. But we're gonna do kind of sections. We're not gonna really block it off, but we're gonna do a section, and then maybe like in a week or so, then we can kind of move it over here, and it you know, you can mix it together, and then it'll stay here for about a week, and then we can move it over here, mix it for about a week, and then eventually, you know, it'll get more and more, but we'll be able to use it for the garden. But that's why we're not going to divide it, and we're not going to just fill up the whole bottom. Is we want it to stay a nice pile. So even at the end of the day, we started with ice, and there's still chunks of ice in the yard. I assume from the water trough that I broke earlier, but pretty crazy.
Tell me when.
When?
So I'm just watering the seeds that we planted earlier. You can still see that there's bare spots in the front yard. It started to grow a little bit if you look closely, but I want to make sure everything's filled in, so I'm just going to water it pretty good today and then just keep up with it throughout the week.
So today was a pretty eventful day. We had a kind of rough day when we came back. We had some loss, but we were already planning these dairy goats. So please don't think just because we lost a goat that we went and replaced it, because that's not the way we're thinking. We already had this in the plans, as most of you know, that we are trying to be self-sufficient. So that's just one way we're trying to be self-sufficient, and why not bring milk, dairy into our homestead, because we can make soap, we can make butter, cheese, milk to drink. Why not? Whenever we have baby goats, you know, that's good for them to nurse on. So please don't think that we were just out to replace it. We're trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. We are downsizing. We unfortunately had to get rid of our mini horse. He was getting very rough with our little goats, and we don't want anything to happen to any more animals, so we had to get rid of him. But he's at an awesome house. He now has like 6 friends to play with, big horses, 6 acres to live on, so he's doing great. So like we said at the end of 2018, 2019 is just getting what we need, and it has to serve a purpose or we don't want it here. And Jared just almost sprayed me with water. Everything we have, we want it to serve a purpose, and some of the dogs do, some don't. The mini horse didn't, and it was more harm than good. He was very great at the beginning, and then he started getting real rough. I guess that's why they call it horse playing. So we feel like we failed, but we learned. So we're not going to consider it a fail because we learned from it. And it's just one of those things that, you know, you just have to mentally prepare for and know that not everything you do is going to work. So if it doesn't serve a purpose, we can't keep it around. So before we leave, we want to give a special thanks to Daryl Snyder from Northern California for being our first Patreon subscriber. So thank you so much. We can't wait to do our one-on-one chat with you. We truly want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for believing in us to subscribe and use Patreon. So again, thank you so much for believing in us. The rest of you guys, we still love y'all. It doesn't bother us if you use Patreon or not. We just got some comments and people wanted to support us in a different way. So whether you just watch us on YouTube or Patreon or Facebook or Instagram, or just tell your friends about us, that's all we care about. We just want you guys to follow us and enjoy the adventure with us, and that's it. We're not asking for anything else. So thank you guys for giving us everything that you got, and we're going to try to give it right back. So we'll see you tomorrow.